Amy here from Never Grow Up Vacations, and now it's time to come fly with Amy. So today's video is going to be a bit of an introduction video, a little bit more about me. In the last couple weeks, I've gotten a whole lot more followers and subscribers, which I'm so excited about, but I really want to be able to connect and provide you all with the proper information. So I think in order to do that, you need to know a little bit more about me and why I do what I do and love to travel. So I'm going to start by firing off some questions, and then I'll take time one by one to answer them. If you have any additional questions, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. I love talking to people and telling people about myself, so feel free to ask away. So my love for travel started when I was in the womb, actually. I swear to you, I think I was born with a suitcase in my hand or a plane ticket or something, because the second I was born, my family started taking me places. One of the first places I ever remember going is Disney World. And that love for travel has just stayed forever and ever. And then it became quadruple the love that I have and is now an obsession. So it was just my family memories that really kept it important to me. Growing up, I remember all those trips we used to go on, granted not as many as I go on today, but it was so important to me, to my family, to the memories I created, and that's now something that's a big part of who I am and who me and Corey are as a couple. So for those of you who don't know, I just got married a little over 2 months ago, which is so exciting. My husband's name is Corey, Amy and Corey Franks, and he's a pilot for a commercial airline, and we are a travel couple. I travel for my work 100% of the time, and I'll actually talk about that a little bit later in this video about what I do for my day job. But we are a travel couple, and it presents some challenges because we're not together a lot. When I say we're not together a lot, and we're lucky if we see each other 4 or 5 times a month. And when I say times, 4 or 5 days. So it's really not, we have a very untraditional life, and we know that. And at some point it'll normalize, but we love to travel. He loves to travel for his job. I love to travel for mine. And then when we're not traveling for work, we like to travel for fun, because why not spend your entire life traveling? So because of that, me being a travel agent and him being a pilot, we get some pretty amazing perks. Obviously I get some discounted travel, some travel perks in that respect. And then through Corey, through his airlines, we do get very discounted, if not free airfare because of non-rev benefits. We can fly for free when we'd like to, but it is through standby. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but sometimes it can be worth it when you're saving a couple $100s on airfare. So the proper answer to this question is, where have I not been? So I consider myself a professional traveler, for sure. So as I mentioned, I travel for my job, but I also travel a lot for fun. So some of my more recent destinations, I go to Disney at least 4 or 5 times a year, sometimes more, sometimes less. But as of recent, it's been a fair amount of times a year. In addition, I've been to the Caribbean islands, both on cruises and through all-inclusives. I've been on, I lost count, but I've been on over 25 cruises in my life, all varying cruise lines. So I've done a lot of Caribbean cruising. I've been to Hawaii on a cruise, and I've been to Alaska on a cruise, which both are life-changing, and I highly recommend those. And then I have also been to Europe once. I was hoping to go back again this year for my honeymoon, but we're postponing that, obviously due to COVID. But I am ready to go to Europe tomorrow. So I consider myself a very well-versed traveler. Of course, I've been all places through the domestic US, West Coast, East Coast, South, North, you name it. I've probably been there, or at least I've had some interactions with there. So I do consider myself a very well-versed traveler. And why I think that's so important is because it's important to book with a travel agent who knows the destination you're going to, or at least has a pretty good idea about it, because they're going to be your guide, especially my clients, ones who haven't traveled frequently. I'm able to advise them and give them advice and, explain what it's going to be like so they're not surprised, and make sure they check all those boxes. So it's a very, very important feature and characteristic to have. You must be well traveled. So people ask me this all the time, and I think they're pretty surprised by my response. So I've only been a travel agent officially for 2 years. My first year was COVID, which I didn't really have many bookings last year, to be frank, obviously because people weren't traveling. But this year I have quadrupled my sales. I can't even tell you. It's been the busiest year, but they're great busy. But unofficially, I've been advising people on travel for years. I've always been that go-to person. When anybody has a trip coming up, they're like, hey, give Amy a ring. So although I've just officially been a travel agent for 2 years, I've been doing it a lot longer. And then, as I had previously mentioned in one of my questions, I've been traveling since I've been in the womb. So again, I'm very well versed in that. I get this question pretty frequently, is how do travel agents work and how do they make their money? So there's a couple important things to think about. So yes, you can book through Expedia. Yes, you can book through Costco Travel. Yes, you can book through whatever third-party site you want to get a steep discount. But when you do that, you got to know what you're signing up for. You cannot call anybody. If you try to call, you're going to be on wait for a long, long time, and they're not going to advise you on how do I pack my bags? How much is baggage? How do I get into an international country right now? So when you're doing that, just keep that factor in mind, especially if it's somewhere you're not familiar with. That can be very stressful. And I have clients come back to me all the time. They're like, oh my God, I should have booked with you because I can talk to you. So that's the first important thing to remember about travel agents. Travel agents are free, F-R-E-E, free to use, and we get paid from the company that we're booking with. So for example, if I book your Disney trip, Disney will pay me a portion, a commission, to send you there, right? So it works like that for every single company. Our commission rates are a little bit different. It's important to remember that, the commission I earn is not an hourly rate. It's just a flat fee. And my services start from the moment you ask me for a quote to the minute you get back from your trip. And that's the nice thing about using a travel agent, is that we are there from start to finish. If I get an update about your cruise that might have been canceled, I'm going to be on the phone in 2 seconds calling you to let you know, and then calling your cruise line to figure out what we can do about it. Or if your flight changes, which has been happening a lot lately with clients. I get that notification and I'm immediately on the phone figuring out what we can do to fix this and make it more ideal for you. Now more than ever, with still COVID changes, it's still changing. The environment is still ever changing. Different restrictions are still ever changing. I'm the one who then stays on top of that to make sure you don't miss anything. Not that you get to your Hawaii trip and you're turned away because it was the wrong type of COVID test. I cannot stress to people how important it is to book with a travel agent. Another benefit to a travel agent is sometimes, wink, wink, terrible at winking, I do throw in booking incentives, whether that be referral rates. Sometimes I also throw you little gifts. If you're celebrating something, I like to surprise my guests. So keep that in mind when you're booking with a travel agent. I am a small business. I do work for Never Grow Up Vacations, but I am considered my own independent agent. So I just function under that name of Never Grow Up Vacations. So really, I'm building my own business. So keep travel agents in mind. A lot of people ask me if I have a day job, and I do a very busy day job at that. So I do travel 100% of the time. I'm a road warrior, if you will, which is tiring. And I live out of hotels, which is good and bad. But I work in healthcare. I specifically work in senior living food services. I work corporate for a very, very large food service company. and I get to travel around to our units and help and train and develop and work through transitions and, you know, make sure our clients are happy. So I stay very busy in my day job, and then in my free time at night and on the weekends, guess what I'm doing? I'm booking up travel for you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit more. I'm hoping to do more tutorial and talk videos over the next little bit. I know there's a lot of topics people ask me about constantly, and I think it's important topics to talk about. Things like solo travel. I'm gonna do a video on that. I'm hoping to do some honeymoon videos because I've gotten so many questions about honeymoons. I think it's important to talk about some of that. Feel free to drop your comments down below, any questions you might have for me. For the most part, I'm an open book. I really don't have much to hide. If you're interested in reaching out to me for your free quote, my information is in the description down below. Follow me on Facebook, Come Fly with Amy. Follow me on TikTok. I got some pretty fun videos. Again, Come Fly with Amy, and then on Instagram as well, Come Fly with Amy. Until then, happy travels, everyone. Bye.